MotoGP French Grand Prix weekend saw Jorge Martin sweep the weekend with poles, sprint, and Grand Prix wins. But the biggest story might be a double podium for Marc Marquez after finishing second in the Grand Prix. Marc Marquez is currently third in the point standing, and he says that he is back. Joe, does this weekend validate that Marc Marquez is ready to fight for the championship?
It really does. And he had that smile. He had that confidence. This is the Marc Marquez we haven't seen since he last won a championship in MotoGP. And it's a very exciting time for MotoGP. The racing overall was good. Yeah, it looks like Ducati is starting to get that advantage again. But just as part of the deal, at the end of the day, Jorge Martin swept the weekend, the pole. He's looking great. But you have Pecco Bagnaia, who's got the podium today in the race. And then, of course, Marc Marquez as well there. If these three riders are going to be fighting it out for the championship, this is going to be a lot of fun. I think Marc Marquez has to feel really good because he is. Marc Marquez, he has more championships than both of them. Experience, I think, could come help him out. This has to be really exciting for him overall. And then the riders, I think this is just going to be something where this is going to be a lot of fun to see what happens between them. You're going to have riders like Pedro Acosta, who had an unfortunate rookie weekend. You have Aprilia. They're getting there occasionally. Maverick Vinales looking better than before. Brad Binder, he's either hit or miss each race weekend. Just a matter of which Brad Binder is going to show up to the track. This is shaping up to be a pretty exciting season. And Marc Marquez, seeing him smiling, second place. And I remember last year saying how when he was making comments like, I'd rather crash out fighting for 12th place rather than going for a better finish. I was like, no, you got to go finish these races. He's doing that now. He's getting the podiums, and now he's third in the championship standards. Game on from Marc Marquez.
Yeah, and I also think it's really great for the sport as well to see Marc Marquez riding well. He's certainly, one of the top MotoGP races of all time. That one of the best that we've ever seen. And watching him these last few years, especially if you watched all of his dominant years, it's really hard to watch what I call a falling star. And for last few years, with all the injuries and on the bike that wasn't really that good, it was really hard to watch Marc Marquez, go through all the struggles and injuries that he went through, and we wonder if he could ever become the Marc Marquez of old. But based on what we've seen from him at the start of the 2024 season, he's starting to look like that Marc Marquez old, and he's looked like he's having fun again on these bikes. And I think that could be recipe for success. I don't know if Marc Marquez is going to ultimately fight for the championship this year, but I certainly think that he's going to be long overdue for that win. And I would not surprise me if it comes in the next several races. I think we could see Marc Marquez get a race win at some point later on in the season.